Look at you, movie star. What's going on with that, Tony?
well, first of all, we had the premiere last night, and so I apologize if I'm a little rusty here. We then had a little after party at his house, and I need a little water, a little Advil, work a little hangover here. But I'm gonna power through it because I love you, Dan, and I'm happy to be on the show.
Who was the most famous person at the party last night?
Well, besides Vin Diesel,
yeah,
I don't know if it gets bigger than him, but God, who came? Deepika came. Michelle Rodriguez. Deepika, she's in the movie. Michelle Rodriguez was there. I'm forgetting the DJ Cruz. There's a lot of people. I don't want to bust people out, but there was a couple stars there in the house for sure. Got a lot of guys from the movie. Like pretty much the whole cast from the movie was there, and we had a great time. We had a great turnout. I'm in your world now, Dan. Movies. It was a lot of fun.
How much do people know about your football career of those you work with on the movie? Does Vin Diesel know what kind of tight end you were?
You know, they're actors too, so they pretend like they know me, and so then he comes up and he's like, "Hey, it's the greatest tight end of all time," and I don't know if he really knew who I was, but at least he was acting like he knew. And this almost didn't happen for me because and I've done some acting here and there. I've done the cameos, little sitcoms, stuff like that. I have a small recurring role on NCIS. But never anything like this. So last year, I get an email saying, "Come audition for this movie called Triple X," and I know what Triple X is, Vin Diesel, all that stuff, Ice Cube, Samuel Jackson, and I say to myself, you know what? No, I'm not going to do it. I don't want to do it because I'm kind of scared. I got to admit it. It's a little bit out of my league, I would think.
Really?
So I get a call the next day from my manager. Her name's Constance Schwartz. She's from Yonkers, New York, and she's got this accent. And she didn't even say hello to me. I say hello, and she goes, "Are you out of your effing mind?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" She goes, "You get your ass down there and you audition for this movie." And I was like, she's like, "What do you got to lose?" So she was exactly right. I was like, "You're right. You're absolutely right, Con. I'm going to go down there." And I auditioned. There was like 10 people there auditioning for the part. So I went in there. I had nothing to lose, and I got it, obviously. And the rest is history as far as the movie goes. So it was a lot of fun. How do you deal with this, Dan? How do you deal when you go on set and you're working with a guy like Adam Sandler?
You know what was, by the way, I know Constance, and it's tough to say no to Constance. The most humbling moment I've had in my broadcasting career was when I was on stage with Nicole Kidman and Jennifer Aniston, with Sandler and Dave Matthews in the audience watching me as I'm doing this part of the movie. And I had that out-of-body experience. At one point, I'm thinking, Kidman and Aniston are probably looking at me saying, "What a fraud." They had no idea who I was. And I'm thinking, how can I just get through this and not embarrass myself? But that was one of those moments where I had to ad-lib the entire scene. And there was nothing in the script. So Sandler goes, "Danny, ad-lib." And it was a dance contest. And I'm going, oh, my God. Like, Kidman staring at me like, are you supposed to be doing this? Like, are you really an actor? And then so I had that moment where I was terrified, petrified. But that was the only moment because usually Sandler movie sets are pretty lax, pretty cool.
Well,
all right.
Same thing for me.
So Tony, NFL and CBS studio analyst, that's his day job. Also, you played basketball in college. I don't know if it's the older you get, the better you were. So when somebody says, "Hey, what kind of basketball player were you?" give us a sense of how good you were at Cal.
I was one of the best players ever in the Pac-10. I averaged 30 points a game. It was easy. No, I think here's my thing. People always ask me that question. Do you think you could have played in the NBA? And if you look at my stats, as far as how many points I average per game, if you look it up right now, it's not impressive. It's like it'll say 6 or 7 points a game. But I will tell you this: I played football, and I always showed up to basketball season way deep into the season, pretty much almost at the beginning of league play. Mm-hmm. So a month and a half has already gone by. These guys have been preparing. So I'd get out there. I was a total meathead. at the beginning of my process in basketball, my appearance on the basketball team. So I just go out there, get rebounds, try to play defense, and usually play around around 1, 2, 3 minutes a game, and then the coach would yank me while I get in shape, get my shot back, and all that stuff. But that counts as games. But by the end of every season, I always ended up starting. I always started the last 6, 7 games, and as a starter, I averaged around 17 points a game. You can look it up. So I always tell myself, I know if I would have devoted everything to basketball, I think I would have been a pretty good one. Maybe I had a chance to go to the NBA. I'd like to think I could have done it, but, obviously not as good as football. I knew football was a little bit more a better future for me. But I love playing basketball. Sweet 16, Cal, we're going to have a reunion of our Sweet 16 team. We lost against Dean Smith and Vince Carter and Antoine Jameson in the Sweet 16. But hoop dreams, hoops. Hoops was my thing back then.
Who is the best player you faced?
I guess in terms of NBA stardom that went on to be an NBA star, probably that team right there. Vince Carter was Antoine Jameson going against that North Carolina team. And actually, it's the coolest compliment I ever got about me in basketball was before that game, we played against the North Carolina Tar Heels. Dean Smith, legendary Dean Smith. I was on a run. Like I said, I had been starting the last 6 games. I'm averaging around 16, 17 points. I'm the guy on our team. And I'm stretching in the hallway by myself before the game starts. And down walks Dean Smith by himself. So it's just him and I in the hallway, and he comes up and he says, "Hey, I'm Dean Smith. Nice to meet you." And I go, "Nice to meet you, Coach." And he goes, "I just want you to know." And at this point, I had already declared to go to the NFL. I was going to play in the NFL. He goes, "I just want you to know that you're a hell of a basketball player, and if you wanted to, you could play in the NBA." And I was like, "Oh, Dean Smith telling me that I could play in the NBA. How cool is that?" And then he goes, "Good luck tonight." And he walks away, and then he turns around and he goes, "Hey, I got something special for you tonight." And he gives me like a little wink and keeps walking. And what it was, we get on the court that night, and instead of playing man-to-man like they had always done, and which I could operate because I'm kind of short to play power forward or 3 at being 6'4", he went to a 2-3 zone with Antoine Jameson, this big 7'2" Russian guy in the middle. Can't remember his name. I think, I can't remember the other guy who went to the NBA, the other 6'8" guy. So I had these, every time I caught the ball, I had these trees around me, and I would have to kick it back out. So I scored 4 points in that game, and we lost by, I think, only, 6 points, 6 points. But yeah, the great Dean Smith had the game plan against me and gave me the best comp I ever had. One of the best compliments I ever had in my life. So it was fun.
Could you play this weekend if you wanted to?
What do you mean, like go to the bars and you talking about football?
Yeah. Like third down.
Third down. Dan, I think I could. I believe in the competitor in me. Yeah, I could. I could go out there and go. And I always look at these games, and I'm like, look at this big tight end that they have here, athletic guy. Why don't they just have him go 5 yards and turn around and throw him the ball for the first down? Because I always felt like that's something that any good tight end could do. Most coaches don't call that play. So, yes, I think I could go out there. I could give you a good, solid 15 plays, third down. I'm going to catch the ball. I'm not going to try and make a move. And I would tell the defense, don't tackle me because I'm going to go down as soon as I can.
Which quarterback would you want this weekend? Now, I got to take out Matt Ryan because you're going to play the hometown. So
thank you.
Okay,
thank you.
So
Smart.
You can play with Rodgers, Brady, or Ben.
Mm-hmm. God, I've never had that. It's like, which supermodel would you like to hang out with? I would. If you look at right now, the way Aaron Rodgers is playing, he's the hottest quarterback right now out of all these guys, amongst hot quarterbacks.
But Brady loves his tight end.
He does. I got to go with Aaron Rodgers right now, just because when the play breaks down, I used to love it when the play broke down, when the quarterback was back there scrambling, because now it's like basketball. It's like I got to get open on the. I got this whole field to play with, And, as my basketball background was, it's smaller. It's smaller on a basketball court, and you got to get open. Guys are playing man-to-man, and you can do like a little L cut. So I always felt like that was fun for me. I caught a lot of balls when the quarterback was scrambling because I always thought like I can get open. So a guy like Aaron Rodgers, that would play right into what I'd like to do. And the way he's playing right now, he's zinging that ball. I've seen this before when they came in and beat us in 2010. I was with the Falcons, and he got on one of these rolls and they went and won the Super Bowl. He looks just like that. It's deja vu, and that's why they're so dangerous right now.
He's Tony Gonzalez. You can see him on CBS, part of their NFL coverage. And also the new movie is Triple X, The Return of Xander Cage. It hits theaters today. Great to catch up with you, Tony, and thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Dan. Really appreciate it.
All right, Tony Gonzalez, a little banged up from a post-premiere party. At least he admitted it with Vin Diesel. I like how we were going to have him on a half hour earlier. I think he was shaking some cobwebs out there.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.